Computers for the Blind is a nonprofit organization in Richardson, Texas. It was founded in 1995 by Dr. Bob Langford, PhD in vocational rehabilitation. It was originally called the Texas Center for the Physically Impaired. Its original mission was to act as a resource agency for the blind. Along the way, Dr. Langford got his first computer, which changed his life in a huge way. Bob said, "For the first time, I could communicate privately. I was in control of when I wanted to read. I could independently manage my own finances." He then made it the mission of the organization to provide computers to the blind in need. Dr. Langford is seen here pictured in the middle receiving a reward. To date, they have provided over 97 computers to those in need. The organization wants to provide the blind with the independent ability to conduct the activities of daily living in a virtual learning environment where information resources are just a fingertip away, and improved employment opportunities through the development of knowledge, skills, and marketable abilities. Their mission statement is to open the world of information technology to persons who are blind or visually impaired by providing computer equipment, software, and training. Their vision is, "It is the hope of our organization that each person with a visual impairment may experience the information age in a positive and productive manner." The organization serves the entire United States, but does local events here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The community audience is anyone with a visual impairment, including persons with partial sight, low vision, legal blindness, and total blindness in need of a computer that is designed for them, who may not have access to such a device due to status or income. The service organization Computers for the Blind serves the demographic of visually impaired and blind throughout the United States and parts of the world. The blind and visually impaired are made up of all ethnic backgrounds, all social, and all cultural groups. The economic groups served are those of lower income who may not be able to afford a customized computer for the blind. Use of a standard computer would be difficult for a visually impaired or blind individual. Therefore, the organization customizes donated computers from a hardware and software aspect to facilitate those in need to have the same access to technology as a person with normal sight.
Alright, time to start another day over at Computers for the Blind. Today I'm planning on getting a laptop for someone who's blind, just totally refurbishing it, starting from the ground up, configuring the hardware, box software, BIOS. So let's make it a great day. Let's build a computer for someone in need.
In speaking with a member volunteer, I found out that initially it was thought that the need would be exhausted within a few years. But with the internet, word has spread across the country, and the organization now helps provide computers to those in need throughout the United States. I helped address the general need of the visually impaired to the community. Upon learning of the need of the organization, I provided a solution to start working right away as requested, even though the class did not start for another 4 weeks. The goal of the project was to provide new computers formatted specifically for the blind. The visually impaired who do not have access to a computer benefited from the project, as I was responsible in building the computers from bottom to top. I worked on site and provided services such as security cleansing of hardware, specialty configuration to help the visually impaired of hardware and software, reliability testing, problem solving, and packing and shipping of systems. Here are a couple of the volunteers I worked with. It was great to work with retired individuals from the computer engineering and software engineering industries. I could enter, participate in, and exit the community of the blind and visually impaired while being sensitive to systemic injustice. This happened at the event I participated in, where Computers for the Blind collaborated with Lighthouse of Fort Worth to help high school students who are blind. The event was held at YMCA Camp Carter. At the camp, I presented refurbished computers made by myself and others at Computers for the Blind to the kids. Most of the individuals from Lighthouse of Fort Worth were blind at this event, and all of the kids had limited vision. There is a certain stigma associated with the blind that they are not able to do things for themselves. I had to be conscious of this systemic injustice when interacting with them. Through interaction with the blind at this event, I learned that the stigma of the blind being non-self-sufficient is far from the truth. It is true that they have a disability, but they have learned to adapt to the world around them and are capable of most of the tasks of everyone else. The blind like to be treated as everyday citizens, and although they have this disability, would prefer for others to see past their disabilities. Here's a kid who I specifically built a computer for, and some video of my experience at Camp Carter.
Alright, we're driving through Camp Carter, YMCA. Big facility, gonna help some kids with giving them some refurbished computers specifically designed for the visually impaired. So I hope I have a good time with them and look forward to it. Here's the drive.
We are not endorsing Target bags. No, they're backpacks. This is a very short thing.
Hey, isn't everybody get a hand to Computers for the Blind for making on to everyone else, please. And also to Alpine from Local Public.
Yay! Well, it's been great here helping kids for Computer for the Blind. Partnered with Lighthouse today here at the YMCA. What we're able to do is present some of the computers that I was able to refurbish to them, hear their stories. Had a great time. Even I'm thinking about incorporating, developing something to help the visually impaired with my capstone project. So it's been a good journey, and I appreciate the opportunity to do it.
I learned that there is a great need for the blind and visually impaired to have access and training with computers. In configuring the computers on hardware and software level, I also learned that the community of the blind and low vision do face an inequality in access to computers because of a belief that they cannot use them. I was able to find this organization through a Google search of service organizations in the community. I enjoyed the process of building the computers, configuring the software, working with the other volunteers, and interacting with the limited vision kids at Camp Carter. I at least enjoyed the commute, as it took at least 30 minutes to get to the service learning site and about an hour to get out to Camp Carter. I would have liked an opportunity to work on the website of Computers for the Blind. A recommendation to a future service learning student would be to urge Computers for the Blind that they can help modernize their website. In working with the blind, one idea I have for my capstone project is to work with Amazon Lex to create a chat interface that will allow a blind person to easily use the computer for simple tasks. Albert Einstein said, "Only a life lived in the service of others is worth living." This quote rings true after this class, and now I have a deep respect and appreciation for those who serve, and hope to continue serving others through my career in software development.